Next up, we have Veronica Gonzalez. Veronica, are you able to connect with us? So you're on the meeting. Veronica?
Hello?
Hello?
You can hear me?
I can hear you, Veronica.
Okay, let's see. Great.
Would you like to try turning your screen on or no? It's up to you.
Sure, it might, just let me know if it breaks because I can take off the video and just have sound.
I will do that, but so far, so good.
Great,
So
thank you.
Just to let you know, you have 5 minutes, and I'll put my finger up like this when we get to 4 minutes, okay, to let you know.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And thank you to all counselors and everyone that's here for listening and taking your time. My name is Veronica Gonzalez, and I'm representing Hamilton ACORN. We're proud to be part of the Just Recovery Hamilton Collective. We support the recommendations set out by the collective, some of which I will speak to you today. The Just Recovery report demonstrates how our struggles are connected and demographically shows that the struggles are in the low-income communities and in the marginalized constituency. It's easy to pick on the vulnerable. It's easy to hide where the real issues come from. During this pandemic, we've had to reach out to each other and start talking because it's a matter of survival for some of us. I've been a member of ACORN for 3 years now, and because I went through an experience with a landlord, but I noticed that this is bigger issue than just getting repairs done in your building. We are getting pushed out from our homes by predatory tactics, and it's happening to everyone across Hamilton. Some are more fortunate because they can afford the high rise rents and move to this only lasts so long because there's no vacancy control in Ontario. Some renters don't have the room to negotiate either. Through the pandemic, we are also noticed that not everyone has access to tools like computers or smartphones, little less internet access. And these people could be getting evicted from their homes and no ways to defend themselves as we speak. Housing is our dignity. The affordable housing in the city is getting taken over by financial entities that are not contributing much for the amount of profit they are gaining. And it does not equal to the economic damage and social damage in families and individuals, as well as the damage to the buildings from the negligence of their properties, which is at a huge expense by the climate. The problems we've identified existed long before the pandemic. However, COVID-19 has created a sense of urgency in our response. ACORN and the Just Recovery Coalition is urging the city to use all of its municipal powers and tools to protect tenants from an eviction. As an example, other jurisdictions in British Columbia have led the way with passing an anti-rent-eviction bylaw and landlord licensing program. In response to the COVID and high rate of evictions, the coalition is also calling for a municipal rent bank where any tenant in financial need can receive a non-repayable grants so that tenants can get the funds they need without falling further into debt. Many buildings have no superintendents, which means no supervision for the maintenance of building. During COVID, people in these buildings have suffered the most. The public health recommendations are to stay home, but many Hamilton landlords have failed to adopt enhanced health and safety measures to protect tenants. We need to prioritize healthy homes during the COVID-19 and beyond, including reassuming building inspections, enforcement of all property standards, and implementation of all COVID health and safety measures as recommended by public health. The issues are constant and growing. Our number one priority is to start conversation with you. We want the community and the city council to start thinking about innovative ways that Hamilton can recover from COVID-19. And they are just at all demographic levels we need to include. We don't want to go back to do business as usual. We need to specifically consider the groups who have been disproportionately impacted by the pandemic. The coalition members have been advocating on the issues and talked in solidarity. With this policy report, we bring the city some solutions that all the nonprofit groups gathered to advocate for the vulnerable people in the city. Just Recovery for Hamilton must focus on communities in the city that have experienced the disproportionate negative impacts of the pandemic. We cannot meet the deep inequality and hidden challenges that current pandemic has exposed with fear of austerity. Together, we can build this better. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, Veronica.
You're welcome.
We have
and
a question.
If anybody has questions, yeah.
Thank you. We do have a question. Councillor Nan.
Thank you, through you, Deputy Mayor. Thank you, Veronica, for joining us this evening. I just wanted to raise 2 points that you mentioned in your delegation. You mentioned the rent bank, and you also mentioned a reference to a BC legislation. I believe it was the City of New Westminster who put forward an anti-rent evictions bylaw and have it now in operations in the city. And so for both of those, I just wanted to flag for the public record that a rent bank of $500,000 was established through Emergency Community Services Committee at the end of last year. And I believe Councillor Clark had moved a motion to review the anti-rent eviction bylaw, and we do have a pending staff report coming back to ECS on that one. So both of those items that have been raised by yourself and ACORN, and also through the Just Recovery report, are in the process of being addressed, recognizing what you said in terms of the urgency regarding the pandemic environment and the reality of not having property standard inspections going forward right now, and the practice of rent eviction, unfortunately, and I think quite disrespectfully, being engaged in by many property owners and landlords across the city of Hamilton. So I just wanted to acknowledge those 2 points for you, and also say thank you for joining us today and raising the voices of tenants at this time. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I muted myself. Thank you very much, Veronica. There are no further questions. Next up,